roasted shit. It's okay, that's how the game is played. You thought you could be fired, but didn't know how to get paid.
It's the I Hate Podcast show with your boy Hef. It's going down right now, and I've been wanting to do this for months. I just hadn't had a show yet. So as I had my show, I interviewed comedians, Southern soul singers. I've also did trainers and coaches in basketball. So now I'm gonna go into a world that I'm actually kind of new to, and that's being an author. Now, the reason why I'm so interested in this is because I actually wrote my first book that was supposed to come out in March, but then I didn't know all the red tape that had to go with it, and I didn't understand the rewrites, and I didn't understand the proofreading and all this stuff. So I when I was suggested to do the proofreading, I actually did the proofreading on it. I was like, I need to change some stuff. So I ended up, so I'm not rewriting the whole book. I'm just rewriting certain chapters that I just felt short. But I was like, who's the best to talk to than an author? And right now I got Miss Pamela Coleman with me. Hello, Miss Pamela.
Hey, what did you write the book about?
It's, I don't know how to explain it, but the book is called 1222 Giles Street. It's about the 10 years of my life. And the 10 years of the life, like it's literally about the 10 years that would molded me into an adult now. Mm-hmm. And it's not a fiction book, it's actual nonfiction. It's not a biography though, but it kind of is, because it's only documenting 10 years. And it's from 1978 to 1980. Well, it's 11 years, but I put it from 1978 to 1989, which was the most important era of my life where things had changed for me. I learned how to become a DJ, how music was an influence over sports, how I was really, really good at sports. And there was like a lot of decision making. Like, so I gained friends, lost friends, how to deal with it. And it's I tried to make it a well-rounded book for not just adults only, but for children as well that are going through that pivotal time in their lives. Because I think nobody realizes when you go through a certain part of puberty, there's a time right before puberty where you're barely starting to see things that don't make sense. Mm-hmm. Right. And as you're starting to see things that don't make sense, or you're trying to figure it out, and you don't know how to come to your parents. You know, I'm from a single parent household, and I love my mother to death, but there were certain questions I couldn't ask. My mother always tried to surround me around my uncles and men, which was cool, but it was, you know, it still was like, and so the book is really about how you can gravitate through friendships at an early age and make you understand that sometimes those friendships might not develop further than your childhood. That, you know, in certain, like you appreciate, but you still appreciate them being there in that moment in time, even though if y'all outgrew each other. That's typically what the book's about, but it's about where I lived, every friend that I dealt with that has me who I am like right now at 51. So I tried to be as accurate as possible, and when I went back to read the book, I was like, I know
we kind of turn this around, but the easiest thing for you to do on the on that proofreading is go into the manuscript and hit that play button at the top and listen to it. If you listen to it, you will go, oh, I don't like the way that sounds. And then you'll hit pause, and then you'll fix that, go back, listen to it, and then you can change it that way.
Nobody even told me that. See, this is why we have Ms. Coleman on right now. Thank you, Ms. Coleman, for coming on right now. And first off, I want everybody to, like, if you can give us a brief introduction of who you are, what you do, how you live. Don't look like that.
Well, when the question is asked, I always go,
Don't make me ask you about the lip sync thing. I'm gonna wait till later with that. But that's like my ultimate favorite with you on TikTok. Like that's. But no, we need to know who you are first.
As I still go, I need to write this down so I have it like right here going. Or just hold it up. Let's see. Widower, mother of 2, grandmother of 1, work in a high school with students that's English is their second language, and we're pushing to get those kids across the stage this year. That's a struggle right now. But they're doing it, but it's a struggle. Wrote books. I don't know how many. I'm looking over there to see. But the first one started out by accident, similar to yours. I can't say I didn't get along with my mom, but she wasn't my favorite person. Mm-hmm. So I wrote a letter to her and I put it in a casket when she died on my 50th birthday, mind you. But anyway, so I was writing about that. Well, and I wrote her a letter. Doctor said, well, you need to go to see a psychiatrist. Well, I work in a school system. I can't afford that. So I just started journaling, and one of my friends was reading it because I was doing it on the computer. And she said, you need to send that to a publishing company. For giggles, I did. They gave me all the instructions on what I need to do, and they would publish it. They went ghost on me when I did everything they did. I said, I'm ready or whatever. And they were like, never. I still hadn't heard from them. And this was 2020. Bumped into my current publisher by accident because there's a group on my Facebook page called She Leads. And I typed in she, it just so I could go vent to the lady that runs the thing because she writes books also. And I was just writing and typing and fussing. And a couple days later, she says, hey, send me your manuscript. She says, let me take a look at it. And I'm like, okay. So I sent it to the address. 3-4 days later, she says, hey, we'll do your book. And I'm like, what do you mean you're going to do my book? You don't do books, you write books. And I looked down at the name of I had sent it to She Publishing. I had sent it to publishing company. I said, oops. So the rest is kind of history, but now I've been not sidetracked in a bad way, but sidetracked because I do the men's mental health. So that's taken on a whole nother life. I just posted the day that we had a waiting list for people who wanted to get on the podcast on Wednesday. So I had to open up another day on Monday and get that set up to send. Yeah. It's taken on a whole nother life.
So you started off as technically journaling. You know what's so crazy? I think that's where I started because I like you when my mother passed away, I ended up, luckily because of my job, they actually provide mental health assistance. And so I took it and I went through a whole thing with the doctor, and she said to me, well, why don't you write stuff down? I was like, I was like, no, that takes too much, because I didn't prioritize my time at the time. So I was all over the place, and I was just dealing with too much, like my mother too was like, that's who I knew, you know what I'm saying? That's so right. And like when I was married, she would come to the house. She lived right down the street, and every Thursday she would just come to the house to either see me or my grandson. And my grandson, I had videos where her and my grandson would talk, and he couldn't talk yet, but he would think he was having a conversation.
Of course,
he would have a full-blown conversation about balloons and whatever dumb stuff he saw. And I would sit there, and I would always just sit there and be like, what y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because she was able to do that. So it made me think about certain things when I was growing up that jogged it. Like, you know what? The first movie I ever went to go see at a movie theater with my mother was Dawn of the Dead. My mom was ultra religious. I don't know if she went there knowing what the movie was about.
Oh, she went there for you.
No, I was only 5.
Oh, okay. Oopsie.
But the thing is, that movie didn't scare me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ended up growing up being a huge fan of the zombie culture. Like, I'm a huge fan. Because I'm a fan of post-apocalyptic things and scenarios. So I always look at, I'm one of those guys that be like, the world was the end tomorrow. What am I going to do? I started trying to get around people that be gardening, and like, you have to start doing certain things because it's like, I don't know right now it's coming to fruition. I don't know. But anyway, when she took me, that's what caused me to start writing. Because I was like, what was going through my head because I remember watching the movie I was in my 20s when I saw it. And I remembered the movie. And I called my mom. Why did you take me to go see that movie? And she goes, actually, I thought it was about Jesus. Now tell me I can't start writing from there. You know what I'm saying? I told you she's mad religious. She thought it was Dawn of the Dead was like some resurrection.
I'm gonna leave that one right there.
So you have a collection of books. What is your preference when it comes to writing? What's your preference in storytelling?
So I took care of I got out everything I needed to get out about me. The first book, everybody was shocked because the people that read it, that grew up with me, didn't know any of that was going on. I should have named it Behind the Door.
Ooh.
But they did not know from middle school to college that I was a functioning alcoholic. I used to drink every morning before I went to school. Every morning. They said they never saw it. Like, and the mom that they would see, and my mom wasn't always bad, but the mom that they would see on the other side of the door was not the same one
that you saw behind the door.
That was behind the door. So the biggest thing I remember is that if I said something, the way our house was set up, when you walked into the living room, to your left was their bedroom, so all the bedrooms were on the left-hand side. And you go straight to the kitchen. Well, I would always stop and talk to Dad because he's in the bedroom. So when I get to the kitchen where she's at, she said, well, why are you talking to me? You already didn't talk to your dad. You stopped to talk to him first. So it was like that my entire life. So I always asked Dad a couple times, can you just leave her? Can we just go? So when he died in 2014 and she was still in the nursing home, I said, I can't walk away now. I said, he stayed in it for this long. I might as well just, ride it out. August, I took her to the doctor and they said that she got about 2 weeks to live. And I was like, okay. I told my husband, I said, they told me she had 2 weeks to live. This is 1st of August. I said, September 24th is my 50th birthday party. September 27th is my birthday. I said, this selfish individual will either die on my birthday party, the day of my birthday party, or she's going to die on my birthday. He said, oh, no, don't say that. Don't say that. I said, I've known her longer than you have. September 24th came and went. We had the birthday party, had a good old time. September 26th, I went to see her. She said, happy birthday. I said, Mom, my birthday's tomorrow. She said, 6 o'clock the next morning, she was gone.
God damn. Hell.
So if you don't do things her way, then she wasn't a happy person. So I always walked on eggshells around her.
You better not let Tyler Perry meet you, because God damn.
Yeah. So it was 2012 was my grandmother, 2014 was my dad, 2016 my mom died, and my mom died September 27th, 2016. 2017 September the 15th my husband died following year. So yeah, that's book one. Book two, I thought, hey, when it ends with me standing in an empty house, whatever. And then it's like, what am I going to do next? Well, the next book takes you through the short version of it, is that I was doing good, getting used, and I'm pointing like you could see the house, but I sold my house over there and I moved over here. And my sons and I, we were getting used to, just the three of us. All of us was good. Taking care of my grandmother who died. When she died, she was 108.
Wow.
But the nursing home decided, short story, to turn me into the local law services. And they had me arrested for felony embezzlement.
That's a story that
they had me arrested, said I was stealing her money. The short version of this, the only thing that saved me is that when I was standing before the judge, he looked at the DA and my lawyer and he said, why are we here? And they both was like, we trying to figure that out too. At the time that they said I was stealing the money from my grandmother, I had $73,000 sitting in my account from my husband's beneficiaries and everything else. They said, so if the judge told me, he said, if you had only $200 and, $30,000 was missing or whatever, like they said it was, he said, then we'd have a problem. He said, but at the time that they said 30 was missing, you had money. And then you give me a binder, 284 pages, highlighted, because at that time, I was selling my house, as I keep pointing across the street. I was selling my house, my grandmother's house, handling my husband's affairs, paying off all the bills, paying off all her stuff, getting her in a nursing home. And I was just writing checks. Whatever came up first was, whatever book I grabbed. So, and I had her stuff on my phone also. So when I went to pay my credit cards off, I thought my personal stuff will pop up first. But it went in alphabetical order. So I was paying out of Bank of America instead of Wells, and I just hit pay. But like I told him, here's what I did. And he's like, well, that pretty much balanced out because your stuff was coming out of hers was coming out of yours, and you got all of it right here. But it wasn't coming out of that one sale of the home. All her stuff wasn't coming out of there. So they thought I was stealing it. So that was 3 years of my life. That was a long 3 years, not knowing if you was going to face 5 years or not. Yeah. So, yeah. And the other books, what I'm doing now, before I got pushed pause.
Well, wait. Before you do that, what? Okay, so you went. So this the two books you wrote was literally. These are like true stories. These are real. Okay, so. You obviously you're about. Was there a hiatus between? It was just right after. No, I'm saying after the first two books. Did you take a hiatus, or you were just on the road running?
And I was still on the. I don't have it down here, but I have a 5-book binder, and they are ready. I'm doing a 6-book series. And they're ready. I just have to take them from the binder and put them into the computer.
And so, all right, let's go into that first book after the first two. All right, so is the third book a continuance of the first two, or is this a whole different?
Kind of a little bit, but not too much. But the next ones those are the ones that you would like to read.
You know what I like to read?
Read all of them.
Actually, when we get off, that's when I'm ordering the first two because it's relevant. For one, it's mad relevant. Like I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, oh my god, this is super. Well, I mean, besides the opposite between our parents, our mothers, the actions that happen around it is very similar. So the third book, which was titled, I'm looking right at it too. It was released at 5/27/2023.
Okay, so 5/27. All books should have 5/27 on them going forward. That's my daddy's birthday.
Oh.
Everything I do is related to my dad. Everything, dates, everything. If the book's not released in May, don't look for them.
So what's that book about? What's Noxious about?
Noxious is one of my favorites that they have been looking at doing a screenplay on. But it talks about a lady at the top. There she is. Finds love, but it's not what she thinks it is. Turns into poison.
Lord have mercy. Okay, so what? Okay, without dropping it, because you're gonna have me reading all your books in my robe. Big ass cup of coffee. Talking about, ooh, I don't mind doing that this summer because I rocks with you. But why does she look like that in the bottom? Like, what happened? Oh, never mind.
Nah, you don't want to know.
Give me the synopsis.
It's just a lady who's recently widowed, and she finds love, and then the love goes left and or right. So the book, this one ends with somebody going off a cliff. Not a cliff, but I gotta go back and read and see if it's a cliff or a ditch. But anyway, so when they put the fire out, he's gone. Supposed to be a body in the car, but he's gone.
That's what we're gonna be my next with. Vengeance. I'm looking right at it too as you're pulling on, like, dang.
He comes back.
Okay, so Noxious. Okay, so with Noxious, right? It becomes. Okay, I'm just trying to grasp because I know you're an author, so I'm not trying to like put you into the story, but this is where I'm gonna go with this.
Okay.
So you introduced yourself as an author in the first two books. Hey, this is me. This is what I am. This is what I do. So let me F your head up with Noxious and show you how psycho I really am. Because how demented I could really be.
So we were talking about the last book 6 in the 6-book series, because like I told you, it's already ready. So he is somewhere throughout all 6 books. Okay. Push pause for a second. When this one ends, he's in jail. Okay. So Harper is getting married to the detective that she fell in love with or whatever. You know that whole section, does anybody see yada yada yada? So the doors open and he walks through the doors. Okay. They tried to do the wedding 3 months before he was released, but he got released early, but nobody knew it. You think they will because they were police officers. As he's walking towards them, somebody shoots him in the back and he just falls on the floor. I'm giving you little teeny chunks of this one. And when they're taking him to the hospital, the ambulance gets into a wreck. The EMTs go back to check on him and he's gone.
So
and you really don't see him again. I mean, I'm not giving anything away, but you really, really don't see him again until the very last book of 6. And that book starts the next set of 6, because somehow throughout the other books, they end up getting back together. And he has her this romantic dinner and everything set up at the YMCA, pedals all in the pool or whatever. And he says, hey, you want to go for a swim? And she says, no, you go ahead. I want to finish eating. So he climbs up and he jumps off the diving board, or however my psychic mind got it. When he goes into the water, it's a pool of acid.
No, it's not psychic. It's psychotic.
So he's bobbing up and down, and she's standing there with her red bottom heels on, and she spins and she walks away. So while he's bobbing up and down, somebody pulls him out of the acid. He comes back as somebody totally different in the next 6.
Okay. So all right. So Red, Noxious Vengeance. 3rd book.
Oh, I gotta get my phone. I always mispronounce them. So all books have one word.
Yeah.
All books have one word, and I try to keep up with it, but have you noticed the covers?
I have. I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my goodness,
Have you recognized the face on all but one?
That can't be you, right? Who is that?
That's me.
The Vengeance one too?
Mm-hmm.
It's without the
all of them but the I keep pointing like you can see it. All of them but the second one is me.
No, okay. So like, is this me? And
yeah, that one's not me.
I heard that's not yours.
All the other ones are me.
That's not you.
No, not on the black one.
No. What about Finding Herself?
That's me. I don't know. Can you see this? Is it backwards? Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it perfectly. Okay. So that's all you?
Yep, and those are the books that's coming out.
So, okay, it's your likelihood, a different character, obviously, but it's you.
Yeah, and St. James, my maiden name was James. So I told you, everything ties back to my daddy.
St. James.
Yep, so I was, and I'm a big fan of ghosts too. But anyway,
that's why the first thing I was like, damn.
But my maiden name is James.
Find out. They'll be like,
but my maiden name is James.
They'll group you into that whole thing, and you have a whole storyline behind it. Okay, so with you being, so your imagination is, at least to say, demented, right? And
I watched Sundays when I keep pointing. I need to stop pointing across the street. When I was married, let's go with that. I used to watch every Sunday the Snap marathons. And he says, I'm starting to get concerned about this. I said, don't worry, I won't cut your limbs off and put you in a barrel.
What was your fascination on? What fascinated you?
To see if they could figure out who did it.
Like rewinding back to where I was telling you, I was very into post-apocalyptic things. I think growing up in the 80s, I thought the world was going to end back then. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I thought, I just thought certain things were going to happen. So as a kid, I always wanted to prepare myself for the inevitable.
No different than me thinking I could touch the sky. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I was just like you writing, I wrote a screenplay. I wrote a screenplay that it's still sitting somewhere. But I wrote a screenplay like 25 years ago. And it was a post-apocalyptic thing. I didn't go with it because I started watching the B movies. See, because you try to compare what Hollywood is telling and what an independent person is doing. And I was like, I can't even get on this level. But in my mind, I was like, I think because I have ADHD, I have to, I'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, so if this happened today, and then my dumb ass moves to Houston, which Like I went, instead of moving from a medium-sized town, I moved to a metropolis, right? And so I'm sitting there thinking like, well, that was a dumb move. So if like now I want to tell the story differently, like, okay, what if like me moved to where if the world was to end, I would be jacked. So I said, okay, so if I have a reliable car, I got 2 pistols, I got 3 boxes of ammunition, just to get out of town. Okay, and then that's not even counting the sundown towns I got to drive through.
But what happened to the food?
I didn't even get there yet. I haven't even gotten there yet. So I was like, I looked around. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing you're doing. There's a meat market over, like there, because I literally live in a circumference of, like, there's a meat market right by my house, which I wouldn't. And here's another thing. After I turned 50, I kind of gravitated away from meat. I still eat meat, so I don't want to be a vegan or any of that.
Oh, you're fine. If it wasn't for bacon and ham, I you know, that's the only thing that's stopping me.
And the only thing that saved me is I'm allergic to pork, so I don't eat it. You get what I'm saying? So I looked at it like this. I was like, oh, okay, there's a meat market over here that sells everything, and I'm in the South, so they sell every meat. Okay, like I even saw like stuff that I was like, I'm not eating that. Then there's the I got bodegas all around me, and then I got the where they sell vegetables and stuff at. There's like 3 of them.
Like a farmer's market?
Yeah, farmer's market. I got 3 of them around me, and then the place I don't go to Walmart, and then there's HEB, which. So I was like, if I had to loot, I have I already know where everybody would go to, right? So I was like, there's spots that nobody even shops at. So I was like, that's when I go to, and I'm gonna get out of town. But I didn't think of food. But I thought, because I was thinking, I was like, well, where the hell am I gonna go? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, if I leave Houston, I can't go north because that's Dallas. I can't go west because that's San Antonio. I can't go east. Well, you kind of can go east, but then you have to deal with New Orleans or Baton Rouge.
And you didn't want to go there? I said you didn't want to go there?
What the hell want to go to Louisiana? They already got problems. And it's not even post-apocalyptic. I don't want to go. I'm not trying to go. Like, they eat okay, I'm not going to front. I eat alligators, so I'd be okay. But I don't know how I'm going to wrestle one to eat one. So,
that part.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go find me a dude that be doing that. Like, I would have to, and then I don't even want to be around a whole bunch of people because I watched The Walking Dead and I saw everybody turn on.
Oh, not The Walking Dead.
I'm just trying to keep it real.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, the enemy isn't even the dead. It's the people you with. So I'm like, God damn. Like, and then so I looked at Costa Rica as an option. I was like, I can move to Costa Rica and call it a day.
And you can't drive there, so then what?
Yeah, well, I'm in the island. And I'm gonna get on a boat. I'm gonna learn how to navigate. Somehow.
Not navigate.
Somehow, some way. Okay, so you got right now we're on Vengeance, or you already released the new one?
No, the other one hadn't come out yet.
Okay.
That one had to be put on hold because of all the stuff I was doing with the mental health stuff.
Okay.
You should be able to see that too, shouldn't you?
Oh, Unspoken. Let me see. That's gonna be the new one?
Oh no, that one's already out too.
Oh, hold on. What's that one about?
That's our men's mental health through the eyes of a Black man.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It should be 2 of those on there.
Oh, there it is. Hey, there's a picture of you with short hair. Okay, now. All right. All right, so
That's probably my real hair at that time.
it's a nice picture. You so bright skinned that you have a tan line. All right, so so okay. I see it. All right, so
It should be two of them. You see two?
yeah, tell me
Okay.
about that.
So the one with the newest one is one of the men in the Unspoken. He's in both of them. He said he said he'd take the covers on. So he did the last one. I said I can't get my vision out to anybody to understand what I'm trying to get out of my head. And I said, like the first one, I wanted to symbolize something, but I couldn't get it out. And he's like, oh, I think I got it. I think I'm listening to you talk. So he had where they're in that dark space and they are accepting going to therapy and they're coming out of that dark space.
What is your take on men's mental health? Like, when it comes to Black women's mental health, I don't mansplain anything because I don't know. I can't.
I don't know about the women's side of it, and we were talking about this on my podcast last week, probably every time. I got bullied so bad when I first started doing this, and this project and this vision came from my first book when I found out I was a mental abuse survivor at the hands of my mom. So I Googled it to see what mental health, what is mental abuse, and when Google opened up to answer my question, it said 63% of African American men don't reach out for help. I stopped right there, and it took off from there. I did a seminar, which I wasn't real. I mean, people were there, but I really wanted to. What is this sticking on my feet? I wanted more people there, and people signed up and said they were coming, occupying spaces, but only 5 people showed up out of the 150 that said they were coming. So that kind of like, I don't want to do this again. But then I was like, no, what else could I do? Because the men that I talked to didn't want to be up on a panel being transparent. So 29 different men are in the first book, just, pouring out, talking, etc. So I was like, okay. So from that book, I said I was done because I need to get back to my 6 books.
Right.
Then there are people that got the book and said, hey, I want to be in a book. You gonna do another one? When you gonna do another one? I want to be in a book. Okay. So then the second one came. Right now I'm working on one from the men that are in prison and some that have been in prison and left and are successful, or however they want to do that, how that affected their mental health. And then there's one coming out with the moms, which is kind of piggybacking on forgiveness, if you see that on the screen.
Wait. Let's just circle back to the prison one. So with the prison one, can you go a little bit more?
Yeah. So they are talking about how being in the system is affecting their mental health as a Black man. Okay. And then some are talking about how they went to prison, out, successful. And then the moms are talking about
both. So you're showing the whole, like, the effectiveness of how you went to prison and what, like how the person A is dealing with this, and then how person B is on.
So some of them are still in there that I found, and believe it or not, I found them all on TikTok, and it was by accident because I had scrapped that book, and I saw a mom post a video on TikTok, and something says, okay, you have your whole group of people responding and talking in this one post. Here you go. So the mom side of it, because I didn't want to leave the moms out because that's where the TikTok pulled me in. So they have a separate book, and it's called 12 Don't Take Them. And it's talking about moms watching their sons go to prison.
That's so interesting. And you were okay with that? Like you were like, this is something that you wanted to tackle?
I'm already in. I'm in. I mean, the guys got me, because we have Unspoken Real Talk, the podcast on YouTube, and it's for men only. I'm the only female you will ever see on that screen. So it's where the guys come in and they talk about mental health, or they, I got one coming up where there's the fitness ones where they talk about how fitness plays into mental health, and it's just, and it's just for them.
I'm so glad I found you. No, this I didn't expect that part because the fitness aspect of mental health, as well as there's so much stuff that I had learned in the last 5 years post-COVID that before COVID wasn't even thought of. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody cared when I started caring about black men going to jail or prison for minute crimes or crimes that were like, oh my God, you're going to prison for that. It started making me change my trajectory on a lot of what I do, being that I was a radio disc jockey for years. And I needed to use my platform for something. And here you are doing a whole, no, I mean, it's a deep dive. It definitely is a deep dive, and it can take a lot of energy from you.
I'm just making you work right now. Do you see the book Forgiveness on there?
I don't see forgiveness. Wait, hold on.
It should be a lady with a sun and a storm on her.
Hold on. Look at you. Your stuff is amazing. I wouldn't have never thought. What was the name of the book again?
Forgiveness. I think if you put in Pamela James Coleman, they all come up.
Yep, there it is.
So that one was supposed to be.
That's a beautiful cover, by the way. Hold on.
Thank you. No, that's not me. No, that's not me. So it was.
Yeah, no, because you're a light bright. This is way too.
Well, she actually had angel wings on, and I sent it to Fiverr, and I said, "Can you take those off? Because I don't want people to think it had some like religious symbol thing."
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be for everybody, not male or female specific. But this one ended up being all female, talking about if they could forgive or not forgive. I have one lady in there who could not forgive her son's killer. I got another one in there that couldn't forgive her husband's killer. He wouldn't give a beggar change at the gas station, and he got a gun and he shot him at the gas station. I have one in there who talks about not being able to forgive her mom and her mother's boyfriend at the time for sexually abusing her and giving her transmitted diseases. So, yeah.
That's rough. Okay, so this is where I want to pivot. What do you like to write about more realistic? You love that. That's what you this is where you're, as soon as you're finished with the real
project
shit that you're dealing with, you're back to the.
I just got to type it. I just got to type it in there.
I would say Pamela Coleman got the fuckery and that's what she got in her head. She's like, I really want to write about this crazy shit. But
and you ready for the and? I know you ain't ready for the and.
I'm ready.
Okay, so I have the James Coleman. I think my son told me to put an and, but James and Coleman publishing consultants. So I have two people right now that I'm in the middle of putting and formatting their books that they're paying me to do. So, yeah.
I might have to move my stuff to you.
And I was like, all I do is get it up, get it together for them, and show them how to use Amazon, and then I walk away. So they'll be self-published. I had one guy send me 23 chapters, and I'm like, whoa, 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 hold on, pump your brakes. So I got all 23 of his chapters waiting to go. I got his cover, title of the book, everything.
I'm so excited for you. Like this, the only reason why I like it because I felt like you was all over the place. Not in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying like you're
I'm used to it.
Yeah, your hands were like you knew how to dabble, and now
working a full-time job and a part-time job.
Yeah, that's dope. But here's the thing: I'm a reader. I love reading. So now I'm like, okay, all right. I had already ordered the first 2 books. I just haven't got a chance to sit down yet. But this is what I already know. Like I read a lot, so you gave me so much homework, and I'm appreciative of you because it's like it's hard to sit up there and look at like I don't know how to approach like somebody that's an author or somebody that writes or somebody that writes screenplays. I never knew how to because I knew my zone. Like I knew about TV, I knew about radio. I knew like you know what I'm saying. Like I knew mine. And
so you haven't been to your own literary convention thing in your own hometown?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you need. No, but I'm just saying you can go in there this year, and Dr. Rhonda Lawson is in there.
Okay.
I'll tell you again who she is, but she's there. She's part of the people that she comes from Maryland to Houston to help them get this together, and she has the tools. Also, so it's not just a book event. They got people in there with the tools and the publishers, and you can walk around and see what different things might jump out at you, different styles that you might want to switch to, and network.
Yeah, yes, most definitely.
Because that's what I did the first year I went. I just networked.
No, yeah, just inbox me everything, and then I'll definitely, and I'll share the information for my city as well. So before we done.
I know you was gonna go there. Okay, what you want to know?
Before we're done, what made you do the voiceovers and
the Diva Hour?
Yeah, that joint is hot. No, and let me tell you why it's hot. It's hot because the songs that you get or the requests that you get are fire. They're not goofy songs or they're not this like and then you be sitting, you got your different hairstyles every single time when you do it and stuff. You're like you go all out to do this. What is it? Just some TikTok stuff that you're just like, you know what, this is just fun,
just shits and giggles.
That's it.
Yep, it's just the songs I like, and you know,
and it worked out, right?
Yeah,
you did. I think you did 2 of mine.
Yeah,
and I was like, shit. And you went off. You're like, here you go. I was like, oh. Like, okay.
Here you go. I got them sitting in there now. I hadn't done any.
Got it. But no, that's
7 of them sitting in there, and I'm like,
nah, that's so. Ms. Coleman, thank you for just taking your moment off for. I do want to always a couple of months after you like get back into from the mental health to back to what you want to do. I do want to bring you back on a different platform. That's okay.
Okay. All you gotta do is ask. I show up. Okay.
But I want everybody to know how they can get a hold of your books, how they can get a hold of you, and all that good stuff.
Right now it's just Amazon.com. I'm still building a website that I like. I'm struggling with it because I'm trying to have it be a one-all stop, but I don't want to take from the books, and then I don't want to take from the mental health side of it. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that, and I don't think I can. So I've just kind of been sitting on it because the website for the men's mental health, like you're in Houston. So you're not going to click on my page, and I'm in Virginia. So you'd be like, eh. So I want to have the drop down box where you hit Texas and then it kind of breaks out just a little bit with the different state, under Texas. So I want you to be able to drop down on your state and go find a main number or something that you can call. So but I don't want my books to be on there taken away from that page.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to do. So I've been looking up the places, like it's taken a while to do this, but each state to get the main states, like yours would be Houston, Dallas, and and then they could just branch off from there, but just at least get them somewhere. So it's been taking me a little bit to go through all 50 when most states got more than
Right.
just so
Well,
that's the website.
Okay, and then your social, if you want to give it. I know you.
They all should be except for TikTok, because I got TikTok under lock. They all under Pamela Coleman.
Pamela Coleman.
And then there's one. The TikTok is Coleman author. So if you want just the book side of it, I ain't been working on that one either.
Oh my God. Okay, so if you want to go see the past tense of Miss Pam, we're gonna go ahead and log on to TikTok and for everywhere else, Pamela Coleman. And again,
yeah, you got to find me on TikTok.
Yeah.
And when my students pop up on there, I go block.
If you find her, well, luckily, I this is an adult only.
I'm just saying that's what I do with my kids, because they were like,
"Oh no, I found
30,000 followers." That's like, no.
But again, this was like 2 or 3 weeks in the making. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your time that you gave for me, and I am gonna follow up, because I'm gonna. By the time we follow up again, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be on some. We're gonna recap all the mental health stuff. We're gonna recap that because it's important, and then we're gonna get back. I'll already done read those.
Okay.
Wait, because you know what? I got some. No, don't hold me. That's the only thing I'm saying. So I'm like, yo, wait, I had some friends that got good special effects, so we can get it on Tubi. Like, cause the way that I'm looking at these books, they look like okay. Right now, I could say we're looking at. If we want to do a quick movie just to do it, that would be some Tubi. And then if we wanted to take some time on it, we could do a Amazon Prime. But if you want to really do it, we're gonna have to go call what's his name? What's the old boy's name with that did because he looked like he could direct this. The one that did Get Out. Jordan Peele. Yeah, we get on that level, because that's what I'm just looking at the cover and the synopsis, and I'm like, shit. And then what you explain, I'm like, what do you mean he disappeared? What you talking about? So, yeah, and you say this is 6?
Yeah, this is the springboard, and this is the first of 6.
Go get it.
They're already done. I just gotta.
Show the first one again. Show the first one. That's the one. Noxious. Go. Let's all start there. We're gonna reconvene around my birthday, because me and Miss Coleman are born in the same month. All right. So, but I think she might be more on the Libra side. So we're gonna let that go. But I'm just saying, Virgos and Libras, so we're okay, but we're all right.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all think different.
We're balanced.
That my brother was a Libra. I couldn't get along with him with the spit.
Oh no, no. Don't say that. Look, don't say that.
All right, so we are done. This is the I Hate Podcast show. This is your boy Hef. Miss Pamela Coleman, thank you again, and I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with this island brother.
1991, see your year hangs high. What the dudes you dumb corny, but the ladies were fly. Hanging with the day, Korea, that master getting black pussy. Yeah, and he lived around the way. Knew this girl named Shay. She was mixed, but always willing to play. So I let her. Claudia was a chick that drove.